Target locked. It's just hovering. Lieutenant Graves grips the binoculars and points sharply at the object. It's rotating against the wind. Not a drone. Graves lowers the lenses. No wings. No heat signature. How is it doing that? Acosta's voice tightens. It just tilted. Moving sideways now. Graves stares. What the hell are we looking at? The object glides silently. No sound. No light. Just a dark shape defying physics. Both soldiers stand frozen. Radio silent. The thing accelerates upward and vanishes. The skies were clear, the waves calm, conditions almost too perfect, as though nature were holding its breath. Aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier cutting through the Atlantic with quiet dominance, an unsettling rhythm had begun to form among its fighter pilots. For months, FAA-18 Super Hornet pilots had been reporting encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, crafts with no visible means of propulsion, defying the known laws of physics. One particular encounter would break through the veil of secrecy, captured in the now infamous Gimbal video. This is the dramatized story of that moment, and what came after. I've got it locked. Lieutenant Ryan Graves sat in the cockpit, his helmet snug against his head, the roar of the engines a familiar lullaby. His fingers moved instinctively across the controls as the Hornet climbed into open sky. His wingman, Lieutenant Danny Flash Acosta, broke the silence. Acosta, radio. Hey, Graves, I'm picking up something weird. Bearing 090. You seeing this? Graves squinted at the radar. That can't be right, he murmured. A small object hovered far in the distance. Not a blip, a shape, smooth, metallic, oval, no wings, no rotor, no exhaust. And then it began to rotate, slowly, against the wind. Graves, radio. I've got it locked. I'm recording. He flipped on the targeting pod. FLIR imagery spilled across the display. The object was right there, suspended like an eye in the storm. Then, without warning, it tilted and moved, fast. Not with a burst of thrust or a sonic boom. Just gone, sideways, like gravity meant nothing. Acosta, radio, voice rising. Whoa! It's rotating. The now declassified Gimbal video captured that moment. But it couldn't capture the awe, the fear. Back on deck, in the ready room, the pilots gathered around a monitor. The video was grainy, grayscale, and surreal, but the chatter was anything but quiet. Graves. That thing rotated against 120-knot headwinds. You can see the air distortion. Acosta. No control surfaces, no heat signature. What the hell flies like that? The room went quiet. Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich entered, arms crossed. She had heard the rumors. Everyone had. The Tic Tac incident in 2004. The Go Fast video. Now this. Dietrich. You report it yet? Graves. Filed a safety report. But it's going to vanish like the others. The pattern. It wasn't a one-time glitch. Over several months, pilots on the Roosevelt reported multiple UAP encounters along the East Coast, from Virginia to Florida. Some hovered, some darted, some flew in formations. One even came within 100 feet of a jet. There were near collisions. The Navy issued new reporting guidelines. A tacit admission, this is real. Still, no answers came. Only silence. Behind closed doors, the footage reached Naval Intelligence, then the Pentagon. Somewhere in a classified room, civilian analyst Marcus Hale reviewed the Gimbal footage, frame by frame. He leaned back in his chair, lips pursed. Hale, whatever this is, it's not one of ours. And if it's not ours, he didn't finish the sentence. An older man in a gray suit stepped closer. Gray suit. Do you believe in gravity? Hale, confused. Of course. Gray suit. So did Newton. Until Einstein proved him incomplete. He tapped the screen. Gray suit. This rewrites everything. Public pressure mounts. Years later, the video was leaked, published by the New York Times in 2017, followed by To the Stars Academy. The clip titled Gimbal went viral. Skeptics called it a censor artifact, reflections, misinterpretation. But the pilots stood by their story. Graves interviewed, "These weren't hallucinations. We saw them. We locked onto them. We filmed them. Every sensor confirmed it, Dietrich. We're not saying it's aliens. We're saying we don't know what it is." And that's the issue, a congressional echo. The Pentagon forms the UAP Task Force. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence releases a report. 144 incidents, 143 unexplained. Lawmakers began to ask questions. Senator Marco Rubio stepped into the light. Rubio, press conference. "If these objects are foreign adversary tech, we need to know. If there's something else, we need to know that too." And behind those words, an unspoken truth hung in the air. What if they're not from here at all? Aboard the Roosevelt, revisited Graves returned to the Roosevelt in a civilian capacity years later. The ocean was the same, but the mood had shifted. Graves to junior pilot. "When I first saw that thing, I thought I was losing it. But now I know we weren't crazy." The young pilot nodded. Junior pilot. "Still happens." Once last month, one darted past at Mach 2 and climbed vertically. No trail. Graves, "We're not alone up here. Just keep your eyes open." He walked past the hangar where a Super Hornet sat silent. The same kind he flew that day. Above them, the sky shimmered with a strange calm. The scientist's theory. Somewhere in Silicon Valley, physicist Dr. Lena Zhao reviewed her equations. She wasn't military, she wasn't government, but she had been given access to the Gimbal video under NDA. Zhao recorded, "If we assume this object uses a form of space-time manipulation, essentially reducing inertia or creating a gravitational bubble, it would explain the lack of heat signature and erratic motion." She looked straight into the lens. Zhao, "If that's the case, we're not looking at advanced technology. We're looking at different physics back to the sky." Lieutenant Danny Acosta's voice echoes in the archive tape. Acosta recorded, "We joked about aliens, but we stopped laughing when it kept happening, when you stare at something that shouldn't exist and it stares back." Final thoughts from Graves. In a televised interview, Ryan Graves sat on the edge of his seat, hands folded. Graves, "The real question isn't what they are. It's why they're here." Reporter, "And what's your theory?" He looked away for a moment. Graves, "Either someone on Earth has made a quantum leap, or someone not from Earth has always been here." Watching the lights dimmed, the camera pulled back. Some nights Graves would stare out across the endless ocean from the flight deck, wondering if whatever they saw was still out there, watching from just beyond the clouds. And somewhere in the vast sky above, something rotated in the clouds, silent, fast, and far beyond anything we understand. If this video made you skeptical, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos they don't want you to see. Your support is how we fight for the truth and bring you the most compelling evidence on this planet. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.